the articles of impeachment definitely?
Well, all I know is my poll numbers are the highest they've ever been. Our fundraising in the Republican Party is the highest it's ever been. She hates the Republican Party. She hates all of the people that voted for me and the Republican Party. And she's desperate to do. Look, she got thrown out as Speaker once before. She lost like 63 seats, 61 or 63, tremendous, a record-setting number of seats. I think it's going to happen again. She's doing a tremendous disservice to the country. She's not doing a good job. And some people think that she doesn't know what she's doing. A lot of people think that. A lot of people have said it. They had no evidence at all. They had no crime. We had 196 or so Republicans voting 100%. We didn't lose one Republican vote in the House. We had 3 Democrats come over to our side, and 2 in another instance, 2 in an additional instance. And we're in a very good position. Ultimately, that decision is going to be made by Mitch McConnell, and he will make it. He has the right to do whatever he wants. He's the head of the Senate. People remember they treated us very unfairly. They didn't give us due process. They didn't give us a lawyer. They didn't give us anything. Now they come to the Senate and they want everything. You look back just 2 weeks, just look back at what they did, but over a long period of time, look at what they did. We weren't entitled to witnesses. We weren't entitled to lawyers. We sat in the basement. They would leak everything. They would leak it. We weren't entitled to do anything. They would leak selectively with a sick, corrupt politician named Schiff. He's a corrupt politician. No, they treated us worse than anybody's been treated from a legal standpoint in the history of the United States.
On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we take a look at the latest new Q post telling us something big is coming. Now, Q has been hinting at this for a little while now, and it seems it's going to have a lot to do with the China-Ukraine corruption scandal. Not to mention the fact that President Trump is openly tweeting or retweeting out accounts that are posting QAnon messages. So you guys are going to want to hear that and a whole bunch of other breaking news stories here on this episode, so stick around and check it out. Hi, my name is Craig, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. We're going to jump right into the latest news stories and Q posts, but before we do that, I always like to thank everyone for coming here and watching this show. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you get notified as soon as these videos get posted. We have a lot to cover. We're picking up off of where we left off, which was Q post 3755, and there's a lot of information here. We're going to be moving forward with the latest new Q post where Q's telling us something big is coming. Plus, we're going to look at a bunch or more Q proofs in the Q posts and breaking news stories that you guys are going to want to hear that kind of back up everything that we're covering here. So just so you know, we are actually countering the fake news, and we're doing it every single day with logic and facts. That's it. We're just trying to get to the bottom, get to the truth that the mainstream media is trying to keep from the people. But before we do that, I always have to remind everybody, look, come here, watch these last videos, share them. You know there's the content suppression algorithm. They're suppressing this content, and especially given the fact that we were beating the fake news. We were getting better numbers than CNN and NBC and MSNBC on YouTube. So what did they do? They went in and they weaponized the algorithms to put down and suppress content creators who are actually presenting content that countered the narrative that they want to shove down your throat and force you, I should say, to believe that there's no corruption going on, that there was never anything going on, that Obama had a scandal-free administration, and so on. So look, they're trying to suppress this information. They're doing everything they can because they know that they're complicit in covering up these crimes and this corruption, and now they have to backtrack and start silencing people, taking away their freedom of speech, taking away the freedom of press in this country, just so that they can continue to remain in control and have the most power. And that's what it's all about, is power and control. So don't forget that. That's why I always remind you, watch these videos. Hit the share button on this video, and if you're scratching your head going, what is QAnon the Great Awakening? Watch this video right here. What is QAnon and the Great Awakening? Will give you all the information you need. Now, let's get into the latest post here. So here's an interesting post. So where we left off, if you guys remember, we left off right here. And I'm trying to make these videos a little bit shorter and a little bit more palatable, so hopefully I'm going to do a good job here today. But with that being said, here's an anon on the board posting this picture of seemingly of somebody inside of Marine One as President Trump exits the helicopter from inside the helicopter. Now, and if you do a TinEye search on this, which is just a search engine where you can actually put a picture up and then see if it has been posted anywhere else on the internet. And apparently what I got back when I did my TinEye result was 0 results for this picture, right after the picture was posted on the Q board, which means that this is an original picture most likely. So hypothetically, who is taking pictures from inside Marine One, posting on the Q boards and then being referenced by Q? I wonder, could it be the fact that we are actually involved in an actual military intelligence operation with the President of the United States to circumvent the fake news propaganda media who's trying to undermine our duly elected president, the person that we democratically elected? Could it be possibly that we're getting the truth from our sources, or is it that CNN and MSNBC are 100% right in saying that Trump's a Russian agent? I mean, you judge that for yourself. I'm not going to force you what to think or force onto you what to think. But the Anon says, when will they ask the question? And then Q just says, something big is coming, Q. Now, we've all but been told at this point that Q plus is President Trump, that one of the Q is working with him is Dan Scavino. We know military intelligence is involved. I know some of my sources tell me and have publicly come out and said that you have the Army of Northern Virginia who've been not actively working as Q, but then helping get information to the Q boards so that we could get the real truth of what's happening, not the fake news propaganda and the lies that were legalized under the Obama administration. Never forget, they legalized propaganda under the Obama administration. What is big that's coming? Well, I have a feeling it's going to have a lot to do with the truth that we uncover here on these boards every single day. But I'll leave that to you guys. So the next one here is an Anon who just posts the phrase or the message here, God wins. And Q just points to that. And yes, God does win. And ultimately, all these people, they toil in this world and they think that power and money and fame and all that is so important. But what they don't realize is that in the end, God wins because we all die. And what happens when we die is we face that final judgment. And I don't know about you, but I know that I'm going to have a clear conscience when I go there because I've lived a life of integrity and I've asked God to help me become a better man for him every single day. And I think you all out there hopefully do the same thing. And it's just, what are you going to do, right? We just have to continue to be righteous and move forward and let the truth speak for us. But we'll keep going. Now, the next post here is this is an older post where Q gave us, if you'll remember, Follow the Family. This was a YouTube post, 3591. And this is where that link takes you. It takes you to this video, right? And this is the video of, you guessed it, Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's son, who is involved in this major energy lab company where they're, getting these huge government grants and, just another example of the corruption that we're exposing. Whether it's the Bidens or the Pelosi's family or Obama or you name it, these people all have enriched themselves and their families at the expense of what? We, the American people, we, the tax-paying U.S. Citizenry. And what have they done? They have taken millions and millions of dollars out of our pockets to enrich themselves and to leave the American people high and dry with nothing to show for it. So, look, what I'm saying is, you're seeing it right here. That's Paul Pelosi, and he's talking about how he's so excited to be in Washington, D.C. to help solve a lot of the world's energy crisis problems or energy problems. It's all a joke. The whole thing's a joke. It's just an excuse, a racket for them to just embezzle money out of the government and funnel it, launder it back into their own pockets while selling out the American people in the process. That's what we have to look at. And this ties right back to the post here. So Q points to this Twitter post by President Trump, and here we go. President Trump tweets this, wow, crazy Nancy, what's going on? This is big stuff. And it's talking about this OAN report.
Sources. Just 2 years after this video was uploaded, Pelosi led a congressional delegation to Ukraine to discuss issues like energy security. And her son traveled to the country as recently as 2017 on behalf of the Corporate Governance Initiative, where he now serves as executive director. While the official reason given for his visit was to discuss a youth soccer partnership program with the Ukrainian government, clips of that trip are now reportedly being removed from online. One of those clips was saved by the American Mirror on Twitter with the caption, "What's really going on here?"
So you run you have a corporate governance business, and you're here in Ukraine speaking with representatives from the government, investment bankers, discussing certain things related to soccer.
Exactly.
This comes as Hunter Biden faces similar allegations that used his father's position to make lucrative business deals in Ukraine and China. Kara McKinney, One America News.
So there you see the actual video. The report itself references the Energy Lab video where Pelosi's son is mentioned and talks about all these global initiatives. Then it says right after that video was made, she ends up in Ukraine talking about energy initiatives. And then her son ends up over there being paid to do supposedly soccer team consulting. I mean, it's all a joke. We know what was happening in Ukraine. Ukraine was one of the most corrupt countries in Europe, in that part of the world. And so what did they do? They decided to make all of these initiatives to give them all of these different international aid packages so that they could then do what? Funnel that money back into their families' pockets. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket science to put all this stuff together. But apparently the mainstream media doesn't even want to touch it, because the only person who's bad in this world is Donald Trump, who hasn't done anything wrong, hasn't broken any laws. All he's done is made our country great, gave us the greatest stock market, brought up our employment rate so that the unemployment numbers in this country are the lowest they've ever been. And he's in the process of fighting the trade war with China, and he's trying to renegotiate all of these, money-sucking initiatives that were started by these globalist administrations who came before him, like the Climate Accord, where it's just another excuse to funnel billions of dollars out of the U.S. government into the European Union's hands so that they can save the world, right, from climate change, which is the biggest joke I've ever heard in my life. So that's where we're at, right? So then you can't mix up. So Q posts that, right? Q posts that here and says they are fighting for their lives. Good people in place, Q. So I take solace in knowing that hopefully there are good people behind the scenes who are in place to make sure nothing bad happens. And I know I've talked to some people, I have sources, I've heard what's going to happen or what would happen if these people ever got back into power. And it's not going to be pretty for our country. Let's put it that way. That's saying it very lightly, but I do trust there are good people in place. But here's the best part. Here's the best part. Q posts this, right? And it references an older tweet. So President Trump tweets this, Q posts this, and then look right here, and Anon points out, look what President Trump did on his Twitter. Look at the latest repost from President Trump. Wow, he retweeted the tweet that was mentioned by Q on the Q boards. Do you think he's sending a message? Do you think the mainstream media is lying and complicit in covering up all of this corruption? Do you think that there's an active effort to suppress this information? Do you think that's why YouTube and Google and Facebook and Twitter actively try to act as the thought police in this new Orwellian era that we have entered into, where corporations think they have more power than the United States government and can supersede constitutional rights and the freedom of the press in this country? It's disgusting. Not only that, go through the list of things that he is. First of all, I can't even say this person's name right here. President Trump just retweeted this Sophia lady who actually talks about the whistleblower, and you can read his name right here, Eric CIA, that guy. But if I say his name, the voice-to-text algorithms that pick up and translate all of the things I say in these videos on YouTube will actually catch me saying that last name or that full name, and then it will actually take this video down. They've basically erased the freedom of the press in this country. These big tech corporations, they're fascists. They are the ones they're not burning books anymore. It's like my friend Dustin talks about. They're burning bits. They're burning digital information. They're just purging it out of existence. And even if the president tweets about it, we can't talk about it because we're second-class citizens to the big tech aristocracy who control us like the serfs that they want us to be. Well, I say no. And I refuse to allow them to continue to do it. And then another thing I wanted to point out here on Trump's board, he actually retweeted, and I don't have to scroll down to find it because it's, he retweeted a lot of stuff here. But I'm going to pull this up right now where he actually tweets out a woman who is right here, where it's her basically going on a rant and explaining how the inner cities are these terrible places because the politicians have stolen all the money. They took all the money, right? So don't kid yourselves. And what do you see here? President Trump retweeting somebody who put a hashtag, where we go one, we go all? I wonder if there's more to all this. And President Trump's been tweeting like crazy, retweeting like crazy. There's so much information. If you guys aren't following President Trump on Twitter, you're really missing out on a pretty interesting set of information. Now, with that, I'm going to go ahead and just say we'll wrap it up because that's where I want to leave it. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Remember to come here, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Watch these videos, share them on your social media, leave your thoughts, theories, and insights below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all of this. Like I said, I'm trying to tighten these videos up and get them a little more concise and to the point. So hopefully that means that, it may be a little shorter, but it'll be easier for you guys to watch and get there. And share this on your social media, get the word out that way. Also, you can come find me over here at JustinFormedNews.com, the official website for Just Informed Talk. You can come find me over here at JustinFormedU on Twitter. You can find me over on BitChute, the backup channel, one of the backup channels for Just Informed Talk, BitChute.com/JustinFormedTalk. And don't forget to be brave. Download the Brave browser. Check out the link in the description. If you guys don't know what this is, it's a great product. It's just like Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, but it blocks the ads and it makes your internet experience that much better, and it helps you protect your privacy online, and it's free. So you use the link in the description to download the Brave browser, and when you do, they'll make a contribution. So you download, install it, run it on your computer. Once you do that, they'll make a contribution to this channel. It's free for you. It helps me out big time, and it's a great product. I use it, so I'm recommending it. Also, you can contribute financially over here at Patreon, patreon.com, as I tell you guys all the time. Look, you guys supporting this channel is what keeps it alive. They're trying to put this channel out of business. They're trying to make it impossible to do this kind of content production because they want to basically, purge us off of the platforms and replace us with the fake news. So you supporting on Patreon and any other way you can really helps and keeps this channel alive. It's a monthly donation. You set it and forget it. Links to everything will be in the description. Also, GoFundMe set up if you want to make a one-time or anonymous donation. Links to everything will be in the description. So before we go, we do a segment at the end of each one of these episodes called God's Grace is Greater, where we talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. And I just want to share this verse with you. We've probably talked about it before here a few times, but it's important, I think, for us all to remember, what do we boast in? We don't boast in the things of this world. We boast in one thing. We boast only in the Lord. And this is from 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26 through 31. It says, brothers and sisters, consider your calling. Not many are wise from a human perspective, not many powerful, not many of noble birth. Instead, God has chosen the world's foolish things to shame the wise, and God has chosen the world's weak things to shame the strong. God has chosen the world's insignificant and despised things to viewed as nothing, so he might bring to nothing the things that are viewed as something. So no one can boast in his presence, but from him you are in Christ Jesus, who for us became wisdom from God, as well as righteousness, sanctification, and redemption, in order that, as it is written, the one who boasts must boast in the Lord. And again, my message to you is really simple. Remember that we are here boasting in the Lord. We are here putting our faith forward in front of us and saying we live our lives for God, and we don't look for the material things of this world. We don't look for fame and power and fortunes. We look for eternal salvation. We look for how we can live a righteous life. And one of the things I do is I pray every day with my family, and we always ask God to help us become his most humble servants so that we may be the people that he needs in the world. Because by doing that, obviously, then you become the man, woman that your friends need, that your family needs, that your coworkers need, that the people in the world need. And that's my only, that's my only prayer, is for us all to remember that we must only boast in the Lord. And that's my prayer for us tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. That's going to be it for me. I want to say thank you for watching. Come here, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. And don't forget to hit that, or hit it, bop it, twist it, whatever. Hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. That's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.